Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some even more crazy Xbox news where, I'm not joking, Canada is not down with Xbox. Now, I kind of wish that was like a clickbait or a title, but in all honesty, it's kind of a funny title nonetheless, where we are now actually hearing even more big news when it comes to Canadian regulators now calling out Xbox in regards to this huge acquisition story, and as well, so even more kind of big ambitious things that actually been blocked and also released by the FTC's trial. We keep on seeing a lot of news coming out over here when it comes to this big trial news. So I'm going to talk about this throughout the video, and as well kind of once again going to throw out some kind of crazy left hook that Canada themselves threw out as of today. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below in case you guys want to follow. We have all the Amazon links too as well, and the usual stuff, Twitter, Twitch, all that stuff. Give your thoughts and comments down below, and also let me know if you guys are Canadian. I feel like we have a decent bit of Canadian bunches that watch up the channel itself, at least based on the analytics. So if any of you guys are Canadian, let me comment down below because I think you're cool. I think us Americans usually like Canadians. I hope, fingers crossed. So anyway, guys, let's go down to the video itself. So in case you guys have missed it, quite a few different regulatory bodies in different types of countries have already approved of this really big acquisition. We do already know that, like, some places in Europe or places in, like, say, like Japan, stuff like that, have been pretty much all approved of this big acquisition. But right now, we're still waiting for a lot more news on the UK, which is really big. It's a very kind of, like, rich person market, quote unquote, where they basically spend a lot of money, consumer spending, etc., and as well on America, which, if you guys are American, everyone knows us throughout the entire planet as the big boy spenders that we like to spend money on games, entertainment, and, well, at least from the memes of all the other countries, food. But one big thing for us is that, well, somehow Canada has been somewhat skeeting around throughout this entire regulatory issue, where they actually had a chance now to finally go and speak, and also somewhat go and shut down on Xbox. Now, this has not been a 100% confirmation of them publicly and legally stating that we do not approve of this, but Xbox claims worldwide regulators are on board with the Activision Blizzard merger. And funny enough, Canada's like, whoa. Don't speak on our behalf, big boys over here. Let's go and talk on our own, and let's go and bring up, well, the big drama for today. So despite Xbox declaring that its proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard has support of regulators worldwide, Canada's regulation agency has publicly now come out and said it does not support this big Activision deal. Now, this is even bigger because I'm going to say that they're not 100% saying no, more so in this awkward kind of limbo of like, let's go and see more information and see where this trial goes, but it also kind of goes to show that, well, people are a little bit on the upset side. In a letter, Canadian Competition Bureau lawyer Jonathan Bertrand wrote to Microsoft's lawyer Beth Wilkinson and Bamboo, I mentioned the name Bamboo, Obaro to address some factual inaccuracies in a court document submitted during the evidentiary hearing between the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, and Microsoft. So basically, during like these like really evidentiary hearings, it's kind of like the first day of the hearing, where it's like, here's all our opinions, here's the facts, here's the money, like here's kind of like the catch up is probably the best word for it. So you can kind of be like, you're in the court and be like, okay, this is kind of what happened the past year or so in the pretty big bullet point letter wise. When it comes to all this type of stuff, though, they just are like, yeah, we did not actually approve of this so far. I'm not sure you're saying that us in Canada, that we allow this to happen. So far, we have not. So noting Microsoft's declaration that every single worldwide regulator is on board with Microsoft purchasing Activision Blizzard, which, once again, they are not. Contrary to foregoing quotations from the memorandum, in a video conference on May 5th, 2023, the Bureau communicated to Microsoft and Activision's Canada's counsel that the Bureau has concluded that the proposed merger is likely the result of a substantial prevention and or lessening of competition with respect to gaming consoles and multi-game subscription services, as well as cloud gaming, and that the Bureau is continuing to monitor the transaction. So basically, this has gone on record stating that they do think this actually is a monopoly or antitrust issue that they are not 100% fully on board with. This is a big thing to go and note. They're basically going and saying, hey, guess what? Like, you said that we approve this. We do not. We are confirming right now publicly we do not approve of this. There's issues with cloud gaming, which is the biggest issue nonetheless, subscription services, which has been popping up even now, and of course gaming consoles, which was a little bit on the smaller side, but at the same time, it's still a big notice. So they said, we received notice from the Canadian Competition Bureau that it would continue to monitor our acquisition of Activision Blizzard after the formal waiting period preventing the deal to close expired. A Microsoft spokesperson told IGN in a statement, we continue to work with regulators around the world to address any remaining concerns. So Another thing to kind of go and note is that they also want to have other publications kind of come out when it comes to this, where they want to basically be like there's a certain time limit where if you have like no objections, no other things to say, the court has to go and move on. It's kind of a big thing why a lot of lawyer stuff is kind of important, because you have to be very timely and as well as also be correct, or at least be able to go and enunciate your argument very, very well. And that's a big thing to kind of go note is that there actually may have been a delay. We did maybe potentially see Xbox's response saying like, hey, Canada, we appreciate the fact that you contributed after all this time, but you should have actually mentioned stuff even earlier, depending on what you guys go and thought. Although I just want to remind folks, this is like the Canadian literal government. So although there is like a big court of law that has to go through, not to say that's 100%, but there is a little bit of wiggle room. Like, let's go and say you're a judge, and in terms of like the proper legality, you have to have everything be done by the 15th. And then you're the literal Canadian government and the regulatory body trying to go watch the stuff. And you're like, yeah, we just want to wait and see what the FTC in this ongoing court case goes, because there's a lot more information being showcased over here. And we want to see if they approve. So let's say they just want to look at the FTC and see. If the FTC does approve, we might approve. If they deny, then there's no real reason for us to also go and, well, not even deal with this case in the first place. We can save some taxpayer money and make the lawyers' jobs a little bit easier. So it makes sense. Like, I'm going to say in terms of proper legal court of law, it does not pass, and Canada did miss a mark, but at the same time, at least based on what I'm reading and my understanding, it's the literal Canadian government. They kind of make the rules. So I could be wrong, but I'd be kind of curious your thoughts on down below. The document Brightron is referring to is the memorandum submitted on June 16th before the hearing began. In the document, Microsoft claimed that every worldwide regulator other than the FTC and the UK's Competition Markets Authority, which we've covered a lot on their channel, supported the deal. The former currently suing Microsoft to stop the deal from happening, while the latter voted a few months back to block the deal from going through. So it does actually kind of seem like there is still a lot of pushback when it comes to this Xbox deal. The Canadian Competition Bureau's statement is a blow to Xbox's assertion that the FTC and the CMA are outliers in opposing the Activision Blizzard deal. To date, Xbox has won approval in markets, including Europe and Japan, but scrutiny has come under elsewhere too as well. So Microsoft is actually right now still currently appealing the CMA's decision, with the hearing still all scheduled on July 28th. As The Verge's Todd Moran pointed out yesterday, the CMA tried to delay the appeal from happening from July to October, but was also unsuccessful because basically Xbox wants to go through this too as well. Meanwhile, we are currently on day 4 of the evidentiary hearing between the FTC and Microsoft, where the outcome of this trial will determine the future of Microsoft's proposed deal to buy Activision Blizzard. If you want to learn more about this one too as well, also the daily roundups, as we've kind of been doing on our YouTube channel itself. So kind of crazy to go and see, because right now it does seem like Canada's like, yeah, we did not approve this. You're kind of going and like being liars right now. Like literally they call them liars. They literally went on a proper legal statement saying what you said is not true. You're putting words in our mouth and we don't approve this too as well. So right now they're just basically monitoring the situation. We're going to see like what kind of information, regulatory bodies, numbers, and everything else comes out from the FTC, and maybe they go make a better, more indecisive decision in the near future. Although this kind of has a little bit more kind of roughy stuff, because there's things like, and such as Microsoft raising the prices of their consoles, and also raising the prices for Game Pass. And on top of this too, also has confirmed that Game Pass will be going up to $11, that Xbox consoles will be going to $550, and it's just not a fun situation. So if you have all these other kind of still big acquisitions ongoing, and you still have all of these other issues going on in terms of like, we don't know if they're going to spend $70 billion, antitrust issues, monopoly issues, and everything else in between, it does lead to Canada also being a little bit more on the, well, what's going on here side. On top of this too, there's also even more kind of stuff when it comes to people calling out like, say, xCloud. When it comes to cloud gaming, cloud computing, when it comes to NVIDIA hosting, and everything else all tied on in. And because of this too, they also have people just kind of on the curious side. They just don't necessarily know like what they want to do. They don't know if like mobile gaming is going to become a very, very successful counterpart. And most likely it probably will be, because mobile gaming is such a big deal. The same with cloud gaming as a whole. A lot of consumers are worried about that. Same with regulatory bodies, that it might be a little bit too much of a big focus and too much of a monopoly, especially if they drop all this money. And with also things like Nintendo and Sony not having too much of a foothold into the mobile gaming sphere, it could potentially become like a triple monopoly depending on what's going on with cloud gaming and everything else too as well. And on top of this too, a lot of people are also kind of still calling out the PlayStation and Xbox petty fight between the two, which is probably why Canada wants to get more information, because PlayStation is currently still the market leader in terms of sales and overall just market. Nintendo's done phenomenal in terms of sales, and Xbox has been doing the best at the end of the day. So I'm sure like all these big like things just, well, want to know. But it's kind of crazy to see that Canada themselves is calling out Xbox. So this is definitely not like a title or headline I was expecting as of today. And of course, we're still waiting for more information on the FTC and all these other various big legal cases to know what's going on. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below in case you guys all like to go and follow. We have the Amazon links too as well. And of course, give me your thoughts and comments and leave a like if you guys want to. And also, I want to know if any of you guys are Canadians at the end of the day.